Hey, Earthlings. So I have with me the famous vegan filmmaker, Andy Atkinson. So hello, Andy. How you doing?
You're right, yeah. No, it's a lovely, lovely picture of Rouge there coming in as well. It's really nice.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. It's kind of. I think I've located a problem, Andy, and I want you to help me with it. First of all, if you remember, a couple of days ago we were talking about this, weren't we? So
Yeah.
this is a new vegan society in Ireland. It's called the Vegan Society of Ireland. Now, we were quite impressed by the entire thing. And then I saw this part. You see this resource bit, and it says the history of veganism. So you see that? You see that change?
It's not a big problem. I've been promoting this site, so
yeah. Well, I'm sorry, but it looks like I've discovered a bit of a problem here. So it says the history of veganism. But if you scroll down past Watson to Cross, I was thinking of this bit. In fact, actually, I was thinking of this little bit here. I mean, they were saying that Watson and Cross were great friends. Said both men saw veganism as something that would emancipate human and other animals. Right. And I was thinking, do you think that might be a typo? And the reason I was thinking that, well, is this really?
Let's get one thing straight here. Veganism is not about humans. Do you understand that? Veganism is not about people. Veganism is about nothing but non-humans, animals.
Yeah. So
that again,
like, sorry?
It'll give it even more emphasis. I mean yeah. Okay, fair enough, but probably just have a read of something first.
So that was 2017. This is a very recent one. Veganism is not about the benefits to humanity. They were just additional perks, barely mentioned, and never a core idea. So what I want your help with, Andy, is do you think then, given the light of these revelations, whatever you want to call it, that you see, I always thought that the writers, the early writers, Watson and Cross in particular, I mean, they were fairly educated. I mean, Cross was a journalist. Watson was a school teacher. He wrote the first 4 or 5 the vegan news, right?
Yeah, and also a load of wildlife journals and things like that as well. Yeah. You know,
and he wrote all of them, didn't he? But yeah. You know, does that mean then that their stuff is just full of typos? So to give you an indication of what I'm talking about, I mean, look at this one. So this is Cross and Watson. And so Cross is talking about the second broad aspect of veganism. The second broad aspect of the vegan aim is its effect on human evolution. He must have meant animal evolution.
Yeah, that seems like a genuine typo that time. I mean, I'm surprised considering he was a journalist as well, that proofreading his stuff.
Maybe the person who typed it up got it wrong or something.
Yeah, maybe he was dictating or annotating and they were typing it out for him and they've made the mistake. Yeah, I mean, it happens, doesn't it?
Yeah. Much later in 2002, this is when Watson was getting close to the end for him, sadly. He said the vegan movement is the greatest movement that ever was because it's the only one now that can save mankind. So he must have meant animal kind or animals.
Yeah, again, I'm assuming he was speaking aloud and someone's typed that out for him and they've just misheard or misquoted.
Yeah, because as we see, veganism is nothing but nothing.
Yeah, exactly. Nothing but. I mean, about 5 nothings but. So obviously someone hasn't let this person know. That's a shame, really.
Yeah, that's right. It's a shame that they couldn't have got it right at the beginning, isn't it, really? And so...
I mean, these must be fairly unique examples.
Well, sadly not. This one, you can't see this very well. I thought it was going to be better than this, but it comes
now,
out
nearly half a century later, with our increased knowledge and experience, we can see what pressing human problems are related, that they will be together or not at all. And hang on, they've definitely made an error there. That doesn't make any sense.
So it's got to be pressing animal problems.
Pressing animal problems, obviously, but are related to other animal problems.
Other animal problems, yeah. Okay. Okay. So we're starting to get typos all over the place here, right? And
and I mean, some of these they're really ruining the sentence now. And
now this has always been one of my favorite essays by Cross, but the first sentence is wrong. Okay, this is an attempt to state in simple terms what veganism is and how it came into existence, and suggest what it could mean for mankind. That's the typo there, right there in the first sentence.
Do you think it's something to do with their pronunciation, that they're mishearing this word each time, that they're saying animal kind and they're only hearing the last part thinking it says mankind? Because this is this is twice now at least.
Yeah, so this has got to mean what it could mean for animals, right?
Yeah, that's absolutely what he wouldn't have thought of anything else. There's no way.
Yeah. Okay. Now this one is a bit later, and somebody else. This is Eva Bat. Veganism is one thing and one thing only: a way of living which avoids exploitation, whether it be of our fellow animals,
the animal
population,
or the soil upon which the animals rely on their existence. Yeah, that's what that should say.
Yeah. And another mistake. This one, this is Donald Watson's letter to Arthur Ling, and thanks goes to the Donald Watson archive for this part. Since vegans by definition claims to help animals and animals. Since it claims to help animals,
those extra words. Since veganism by definition claims to help animals
and animals.
I'm not sure why they've added those extra 2 words for.
The vegan society must do it.
Yeah, they must have added them afterwards, or again misheard. I mean, I'm not sure what the technology's like on these sort of recorders or how these things are done, but it doesn't.
I think it was old-fashioned typewriters in those days.
It just the amount of mistakes that have gone unnoticed.
Yeah. So the other one is Kath Clements, and the first edition of that is 85, not 95. But I'm not sure whether this quote is in the 85 one, because this is the second edition. Veganism is about having a consistent approach to animal rights and animal rights,
ecology and animal world food problems. Yeah.
Yeah, so confusing, isn't it? Okay, this is Cross again from 54. Until the advent of veganism, comparatively few men regarded the animals as being either worthy of or entitled to the right to be free, and probably fewer still realize the impressive effect that the granting of such a right would have upon the freedom
of animals themselves.
Of animals.
I mean, this is really bad. I'm really shocked that I hadn't noticed all of these errors before. I mean, I've narrated some of these essays, and
I mean, this is the thing. I mean, I've made a total mistake. This is one of the things that I've used as a kind of like, he's talking about focus and scope and all that. Some of the changes are not so obvious. The benefits to animals
themselves,
of living in a kindly and more enlightened world can only be envisioned. Animal health, physical and mental, will be vastly improved. Yeah. And then finally, not finally, this one. Until the present relationship between man and his fellow creatures is replaced by one of companionship and a relatively equal footing, the pursuit of happiness by man, they're not interested in that, so it must be
by animals is foredoomed to a painful and tragic frustration.
So if that was happiness by animals, that would, I mean, so that there's the typo there. And then this last one is a real mystery to me. I mean, I don't know whether you can explain this. The object of the vegan society to oppose the exploitation of sentient life. But if the object is it's only.
I don't know for sure. I'm just speculating. But maybe in 1945 they didn't know that humans were. Maybe they didn't think humans were sentient. I don't know. But that's just a typo. Otherwise.
Does that mean that Watson is suggesting that other animals are sentient but humans aren't?
It's the only thing I can think of, because there's obviously no way that humans were included, because only.
Yeah.
So He must have meant that. Maybe that was just the common thought then, that humans weren't sentient and all other animals were. Because I mean, actually, in that he's talking about bees, so maybe he just thought that bees were sentient, but human beings weren't.
Yeah. Well, people, we have to leave you with the tragic news that the people who started the vegan movement seem to be really bad writers and seem to have got it all wrong.
Pretty much, yeah. And to be fair, nobody else that came after them was any better. Clearly,
no,
just repeated the same mistakes time after time, which is really disappointing. Might have to change everything that I've ever said.
Yeah. Well, in the light of that terrible news, we'll say goodbye, people.